Can you briefly touch upon multiple or dual LLMs and how they are used in our SmartBots studio?
Okay, the dual LLM as a concept is something which I think we are among the first few people who have explored this idea. The idea is something like this: you use a extremely large language model for the build part. When you're building the solution, when you're building the conversational assistant, you use an extremely large language model. And during the runtime, like when the bot is actually consumed or used by an end user, at that time you use relatively a smaller size model. Let us take an example. Like we use GPT-4 for the build part and GPT 3.5 for the runtime part when the bot is being consumed. So the advantages, we get tremendous set of advantages with this kind of an approach. Few of them are the cost advantage primarily. GPT-4 is costly, 20 times more costly compared to GPT 3.5. So what happens is, since we are the number of hits that we make during runtime are generally very high compared to the number of hits we make in the build time. Build time is when a developer or a business user is developing the bot. At that time, maybe you make say 10,000 hits overall to the large language model. Whereas in the runtime, when the bot is actually being consumed, it could vary from as small as maybe 1,000 hits per day to even few 100K or 1 million interactions per day or for a period of a week. So that is where it makes sense to use a smaller model. That's one. The second part, we were talking about control. The control aspect is extremely important. So when we are designing the blueprint of the bot, we convert the business processes, which is the input that we get into the system when the person is building, that we convert to a conversational blueprint using a large language model, right? Which meaning the extremely large language model like GPT-4. So that time we use GPT-4. We understand all the various ways in which the bot can, the user and bot interaction can happen, simulate all of them, and keep it in a database. So we have simulated all possible user interactions, have the various ways in which people would respond, people would interact with the bot, how those scenarios have to be handled. All that gets created into the blueprint. We are essentially interacting with a database most of the time rather than
Right.
hitting a large language model. So we are getting the same 4 performance with 3.5. The dual strategy is like an exceptionally good strategy in my is my belief.
So, in a sense, what you're saying is using dual LLMs, the large one and a smaller one, we are actually bringing in cost efficiencies and the efficiency of operations. Am I correct?
Yes, in addition to that, the control factor, as I mentioned, since we are dealing with a database most of the time, which is based on the inputs which we get from a large language model, the control that enterprises have is again one of the crucial factors which we are able to accommodate. It happened to check multiple boxes. This dual LLM strategy has helped in checking multiple
Right.
boxes.
Great, JP. I think we had an excellent session so far. A lot of insights for me. I'm sure our viewers had also would also have gained a lot of insights.